It's showtime.
Hey everyone, Django Fett here, hunting down games, comics, TV shows, movies, and more. And this is a review for X-Men Dark Phoenix. So this movie is written and directed by the one and only Simon Kinberg, who has been involved with shitty films such as X-Men Last Stand, as well as Fantastic Four, which I have not seen. Barely remember the classic X-Men movies, but he just started, I was looking at his IMDb before, X-Men 3 was one of his first movies. And then he did the rest of the Fox movies, and he was involved with producing and writing them. I do think he's been involved very little, to be honest, not a heavy role. So this one really shows that, you know, this is his first directorial debut, and it really shows. This is a messy film from the start, and I knew it going in. Simon Kinberg, I had no faith in. Me and my friends at the Awesome Universe, we have no faith in Simon Kinberg, and we know the bad things that go along with it. So going in, I thought this movie was going to be shit, and, you know, lo and behold, it was bad. No surprises there. So I am so mixed with the X-Men series. I didn't like them in the beginning, X-Men's 1, 2, and 3. I didn't really care for it. It was only until First Class, Days of Future Past, which is my favorite, resurrected my interest. And then we had Logan, which I believe ended the universe. And Hugh Jackman was instantly the best part of the, you know, X-Men universe. And seeing Logan, I thought that was like the finale of the Fox universe, and it just ended right there, as it should have. Unfortunately, we have to have more of these fucking films of the teenagers. You know, after the colossal failure that is Apocalypse. I don't want to get into too much about Apocalypse, but I'm a huge X-Men fan, guys. I'm a huge X-Men fan. I got a huge poster right back there, foldable poster that I got from one of the comics. And Age of Apocalypse was my favorite storyline. I didn't really like Dark Phoenix Saga. I mean, I read it a few times, or like a few bits here and there, but I was never really into it. But Age of Apocalypse, that's my shit, okay? And that's why I am super pissed off with that movie. And I will never forgive the creators behind that. I thought that was just a colossal failure. That could have been much more. They could have done so many new shit. So much new shit with that. Days of Future Past times 10 with that shit. But they didn't. They were rather tame, and the film was just, I fucking hated it. So I thought that was the send-off that the X-Men universe needed. I thought it needed to end right there, but they decided to do Dark Phoenix. Right after the events of Apocalypse, they are now considered heroes for some reason. Everyone loves them, and they are sent on random missions and loved by everyone. So they are sent to space to save these astronauts. And they save them, and in the process, as you've seen in the trailer a million times already, that Jean Grey actually ends up almost dying, and in the process absorbing the Phoenix and becoming the new Dark Phoenix or whatever. I knew this movie would have so many problems going in, just because Simon Kinberg and the trailers look like shit. I actually was surprised it wasn't a bigger, like, dumpster fire that it was. I was really surprised by that. Because they tried to save face a lot, and especially towards the third act, which I'll mention a little bit later. But this movie is just a boring movie. It's really, really boring. It's not a total catastrophe and a total mess, but it's boring, man. It's so small. And it just feels like, you know, the Dark Phoenix saga is like huge. It's a huge event for the X-Men. But having it such a big storyline like that be so small and tame in comparison is just, it makes no sense to me. I thought that it was just a bad way they fucked up the Dark Phoenix. This is the second time now they fucked up the Phoenix saga, and I hope to God they don't do this shit again if they reboot the series. And honestly, I'm at a point where I just want to take a break from the X-Men universe. I want somebody else to take a hand at it, but I don't want Simon Kinberg, Bryan Singer, anybody else involved, you know, the Fox universe, to be involved with these movies anymore. I want Marvel to do it now. I want them to take control and do something new and unique and actually do Apocalypse right for once too. I just want them to do it right, you know. Days of Future Past was the last great X-Men universe movie, and I have a poster of that. I fucking love that movie, man. And I wish they emulated that success, but they just didn't even try anymore after that point. Logan, yes, but other movies, yeah, not at all. So I'm not even naming the good, the bad. I don't give a shit about this movie, honestly. I'm not pissed off with this movie. I expected it to suck, but I'm just everywhere. I just don't care about this freaking movie. It just doesn't make sense, too, because, like, if you remember in Apocalypse, where they're just beating up, you know, Apocalypse like he's like a stuffed teddy bear or something. Like, they're just throwing him around like he's a rag doll. And I thought that was fucking retarded. Way to treat Apocalypse, motherfuckers. They're just beating him up. Everyone's having a hand at it. And, you know, she fucking kills him by summoning the Phoenix. That was the end of the movie. But in this movie, she ends up absorbing the Phoenix and becoming Dark Phoenix in the beginning of this movie. So it negates all the events from Apocalypse. It's like somebody just completely forgot. And they were just like, just go with it. Just forget about the events of Apocalypse. And, you know, just this universe is an absolute fucking mess. It really is. You know, after Days of Future Past, which I love that movie, it just destroyed the whole fucking universe, man. It really did. And it just made everyone just so fucking confused. So what are the good things I liked? Some of the actors, I guess. You know, Michael Fassbender. He's good. For the most part, I guess. He's rather tame compared to the previous movies, Days of Future Past, First Class, and such. Beast is okay. You know, I thought he had a good role. I mean, a good amount of time. Surprisingly, James McAvoy was unconvincing to me. I didn't like his portrayal. Jennifer Lawrence is terrible. I'm glad she just phones it in. She phoned it in after freaking Apocalypse, man. She just didn't give a shit about that movie. And I would say that she just didn't give a shit in Apocalypse more than this movie. But, like, it's just, like, Mystique being the good guy now. I think it's stupid. I think it's fucking stupid. And I'm glad, you know, something happened to her, so. And then we have Quicksilver not being a part of this movie. And it feels like it's not a really X-Men movie. It just feels like, you know, some of the X-Men involved in this movie. Like, at least with Days of Future Past, you had, like, these new, unique characters. Even though they're not involved with the X-Men universe anymore, I would love to see them involved in some point. But they were all unique and different. Like, not just Logan or Mystique and Magneto. It was just, like, a huge ensemble, and they all had their time, and it all felt great. But in this, it's just like, who gives a shit? I don't give a shit about any of these people. Like, they just come out of nowhere and they do a little thing here and there, and you expect me to care? Like, no, it's just not gonna work. I did like how Nightcrawler, at the end, he turned, like, almost, you know, and he was about to assassinate the president in X-Men 2. Like, it was, like, like, that moment just sprung up out of nowhere. And it happened, like, almost like X-Men 2-esque, you know? I thought that was kind of cool. But it's so short and brief. And they actually did reshoots at the end with the ending sequence with the train. And I believe it. It's just like, it was just so bizarre. And then it's so bizarre, this movie. It's like, in the beginning, they start off as heroes, everyone loves them, nobody hates them. And then at the end, like, everyone fucking hates their guts. So they're like, like a huge fucking shift that came out of nowhere. And then everyone hates them, and they're like in cages and shit. I'm just like, what? It's just so fucking weird, man. It's just, they didn't know how to write this fucking film. Simon Kinberg wrote and directed this film, and he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Like, this guy should not be directing anymore. And it really showed. I know this movie is going to make its budget. It's definitely going to make its budget. But it's just such a bad movie and a terrible send-off to the X-Men universe, for sure. Just don't get it. I mean, how can you fuck up twice? The Dark Phoenix saga, twice. And the X-Men universe. I mean, have you not seen what Marvel's doing? Like, just, God, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, Fox. That's why I'm happy that Marvel's taken over. So I'm gonna give X-Men Dark Phoenix a So no surprises there. This movie sucks. It's not that great. I just felt like watching it because it's the last of the X-Men movies, and just end it off there and never see another X-Men movie for a long time. Hopefully Marvel treats X-Men properly, but that's the only thing I'm looking forward to when it comes to the Fox rights, and also Fantastic Four as well. So that's really my thoughts, man. I just hate how everything turned out in the end for the X-Men universe. I really think that they could have done so much freaking more, but they just like cobbled together a throwaway film which had so many problems going in, and it just seems so pointless in the end. So those are my thoughts of X-Men Dark Phoenix. Definitely check out Godzilla instead, and check out my review, of course. Please be sure to like this video, comment down below if you've seen Dark Phoenix. Did you like it? I don't know why. Did you hate it? Let me know. And please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you, my fellow Mandalorian brothers and sisters, next time. Ooh, yeah!